Hey everybody, welcome to Wednesday Live, where every Wednesday we get together and we do a live stream. All right, there we are. All right, so what's up? It's always awkward when you first get on here because nobody's watching and you start talking to yourself, but in a short while, everybody will join in. So, hey Chris, what's going on? Not much. What's going on with you? What's up, Alan? Linda? Well, it is Wednesday, and that means we're doing another live stream. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing good. It was almost 80 degrees today. It's pretty hot out. It's really cold where I am in my basement though. Down here, I guess I'm glad that it's cold because it's really hot upstairs. There's no air conditioner. But it's getting nice out. The trees are blooming. Really nice. The bluest sky I've ever seen today. Just really blue sky. And other than that, just a normal day. Went out and got some falafel. Had a falafel sandwich with some baba ganoush, stuff like that. It was good. And that's about it. Hung out with the dogs, and now we're live streaming. So tell me what about your day? What's everybody doing? What's everybody having for dinner? Or what do you guys have for lunch? Give me some questions. We'll do a Q&A. I don't know. Hang out. Oh, I do have a question. We'll wait for some more people to get on here, and then maybe I'll ask a question. Maybe somebody knows the answer to. Because I don't know the answer. Anyway. But yeah. I am not going to be doing a live stream next Wednesday because I will be doing a live presentation a little north of here, up by the border of New York and Canada. And I'll be going to a small little health food store. I've never been there, but they invited me to go there and do a vegan demonstration. So I'm just gonna cook some food and talk about being vegan and answer questions and the usual suspects. You did not have falafel. Well, I did have falafel. Oh, and if you didn't notice, I shaved my beard right off my face. Again, every time I shave, it's an accident. I went to trim with the shavers, and I made sure it was at the right setting, but it slipped as I went on to do it. So I pretty much shaved half my mustache off, and then I was like, I got to shave it all off. So, can you guys hear the dogs right there? The dogs are right here with me. Falafel is made out of a combination of different like chickpea and different spices. It's a Middle Eastern Mediterranean dish, and I normally go to a place called King David's around here in Syracuse, and they've been here since 1974. So I was going there right off when I first went vegetarian, and yeah, I love it. I love falafel. It is a good excuse, but it's the only excuse. I didn't want to walk around with half of a mustache and the rest of the beard. That just would have been weird, awkward. Although if I wasn't looking in the mirror, I wouldn't have noticed. Only you guys would have. But anyway, I vaguely remember somebody here a while ago, maybe a month or two ago, asking me if I skied. Does anybody remember that? And if you did ask that question, are you in the chat? That's kind of weird because I received a package for the Vegan Zombie to the Vegan Zombie, and it was a stag rack, which is a ski or bike rack. And I got 2 of them here, and I don't know who it's from, and I can't contact the company because they don't have contact form set up. And I looked it up, and it's quite expensive, and I don't ski. So I'm wondering who sent me this. If it was one of you guys, I mean, it had to be somebody that it was sent to the Vegan Zombie. So I don't know if somebody can enlighten me here. I've been meaning to ask this question for a couple weeks now, but I keep forgetting when I'm live with you guys. So, yep. Hey, Chris, what's up? Just hanging out with you guys on a Wednesday evening. It's like summer out there. But anyway, if anybody knows, please contact me and let me know. Otherwise, it's going to be a mystery forever. And I won't know who sent me this. But it's called Stag Rack. It's always nice to get packages, but I have no idea. There's no note in there, nothing. So, Vegan Santa Claus. It is Mel. What else was it? There was a couple things that I was going to talk about, and that was one of them. I was going to ask that question. The other thing, I don't remember. There's not really. I mean, you guys, there's not much new that has happened since I talked to you guys last week. I mean, still doing what I can do for the post-production for the movie until we start shooting. And nothing new there to talk about. I could talk about something that was really grinding my gears. Should we talk about that? Anyway, maybe, yeah, sure. The pita bread has whey powder in it. Where? At King David's? I don't believe that does anymore because I was invited to go there by the owner. I did a video there, and we went through everything that was vegan and not. And I did ask about the pitas and stuff. So I wonder if they did a long time ago. But I don't believe it is now. At least that's what they told me. So we even made vegan baklava. I don't think they still have it there, but they made a special batch, and it was really good. Oh, you're talking about a different place. Okay, I must have missed it. Yeah. I would have been very surprised if that was the case here. But that's always a bummer. Because pita bread is something that's just a very simple ingredients. You don't need to put whey powder in it, anything like that. What was I just talking about? I'm totally thrown off now what I was talking about. Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Just so I'm not in too many vegan groups on Facebook and stuff like that because I don't know. I'm in a few of them, but like sometimes People just get really annoying, and I don't want to be there. But anyway, I was in some group. I won't say the group or anything like that, but I was in a group. I've never posted in it. Just, somebody asked me to check something out, and they're like, "Well, you got to join it." So I'm like, "All right, I'll join it." And they were arguing. Nobody was arguing. They were just questioning. Somebody posted a cereal, and other people were like, "Is this vegan? Is this vegan?" And most people were like, "Yeah, it's vegan." And some people were saying, "Well, other than possibly the monodiglycerides, I think it's probably vegan." And nobody really knew if it was vegan or not. But I did, because I did a video on this last year before. And I went out and I did all the homework, and I contacted all the companies, and I called them all up, and I asked them the questions that needed to be asked, and I have a video of them answering it. So straight from their mouth, I have this information. And I tried to comment on there, and I couldn't comment because the admin turned off the comments, which I thought was I don't know why they would do that, because I think people were just wanting to know information, and they restricted it. And I thought that was so. I messaged the admin, and I was just like, and I basically very nicely said, I was trying to comment on that thing. Well, anyway, the vitamin D in in all General Mills cereal, it has lanolin in it, just to let you know. And then she outed me out on the main page and posted my name, saying this is not a debate page, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whoa, I wasn't debating. If somebody had the information for me, I would want to know it. All I'm doing is letting people know that it's not vegan, and they can go from there. They can make their decisions from there. But I just wanted to get, and she's like, well, not until I'm like, well, look, I know that it's vegan because I know that it wasn't vegan because I already did the homework. Here it is in the video. If you don't have time to watch the video, skip to this minute marker and check it out. And then she did. And then she's like, and I'm like, look, I'm not here to debate. I just wanted to let people know. Have a great day. And that was it. That was my conversation. And, I'm not trying to debate people, but I don't really care what people think, but I come from the point where there is a clear cut, concise definition of what vegan is and what vegan's not. So that wasn't vegan because it had animal products, and all of their vitamin D was derived from lanolin, which is from animals. So it's not vegan. It's not like I'm hurting anybody's feelings here. It's like they really wanted something to be vegan. I don't care if you're eating it or not. That's your own decision. I'm just giving you the information. It's not vegan. There is a definition. Is it vegan? Is it not vegan? If it's not vegan, okay, fine. That's all. That's all I was doing. That's why I don't really join any vegan groups anymore. So I think I don't know. I think I was thinking about it, and I was talking to a friend, and I think I'm very open-minded to just about everything. Except for being vegan. I've been vegan for most of my life, going on almost 30 years. So it's something that I've just most of my life been around. I don't need to formulate any more opinions. I know what it is, and I don't need anybody else to tell me what it is or what it isn't. And I guess I'm pretty closed-minded when it comes to that, because I don't need to, I guess, I don't need to be in any groups or something if people are going to I just want to do my thing and not come across like that to other people. I just want to do my thing and help other people go vegan in any way I can, if, they can take it or leave it. And I just want to do it in a fun, entertaining, yet educational way. Because I think that, going on almost 30 years vegan, I've seen everything. So I've seen what works and what doesn't work as far as I've experienced. And I think that a lot of people are turned off by certain things and, the whole judgmental thing, which I get, but other people don't get it. They're not at that point yet. So I've wanted to make something different, something fun and entertaining to grab people's attention. But then once you grab their attention, then they see the underlying issue, and then they're like, oh, okay. So they gradually get to that point on their own, but they don't get turned off right away, because I just think that that's important. And I think a lot of people I've seen get turned off from being vegan for many reasons. And a lot of it is like just the in your face. Like I get why people are like this, because I feel the same way, but you just gotta figure out how you want to present it to the other people, because, you can come off really, I don't know, militant to certain people, and then they just hear everything about vegan, and they just immediately assume, maybe make all these assumptions, negative assumptions, and then it's even harder to get the message across, or if you ever do it all. So I don't know. I think that's important. Anyway, I'm just going off a tangent here. So yeah, if I have proof on something and somebody's asking something, I'm most certainly gonna chime in and give that person the information so they have it. Because honestly, I would want somebody to tell me if there was something that I was eating for some reason wasn't vegan and I didn't know it. I would want somebody to tell me, hey, just so you know, you make your own decision, but just so you know, that one weird ingredient's not vegan. And I'd be like, thank you for letting me know. That, I mean, rather than just like ban everybody from being able to comment because you don't know the answer, and then try to out me in public. That was weird. That was really weird. I do have vegan camo on. I love camo, and one of the reasons why I've printed a bunch of shirts on camo as well. And one of the reasons for that is because a lot of people right off the bat think, oh, that's for hunters and stuff like that. And it's like, well, it's not, but a lot of hunters do wear camo. And if I can wear a vegan camo shirt, then maybe I can attract the attention of somebody that's not vegan to like, oh, look over and be like, oh, hunt. Oh, wait, what's that say? Oh, what? And then you got possible dialogue, conversation that you can like talk to somebody. I don't know. But I do it on purpose. I've worn camo since I was a little kid. Oh, it's Matt D. Yes, it is. See? Yeah, the criticism and the judgmental, a lot of people see that as vegans, and I can debate that on both sides. I can say, well, the reason why vegans are so like that is because they see what's going on, and other people don't realize when they make their because I totally agree. Like, oh, you make your choice and I'll make my choice. It's like, yeah, but our choice doesn't involve an innocent being killed or suffered or anything like that. But somebody that's not vegan eating their meal, yeah, it's their choice to do it, but their choice involves an innocent being. And that's where vegans come in, and they're upset and they're emotional and they're militant about what they're saying. And that's where I understand that. But you also got to remember that things don't always work the way you think you want them to work. You can't just go in. As much as you want that to happen, people are going to still do what they're going to do. So you gotta like, I don't know, compartmentalize that part of your feelings and say, look, that's really, that's horrible what happens for them to get to what they're eating. But you got to realize you got to hold that in, and you got to come across less judgy in your throat. Because so many people feel like I hear it all. Everybody's, if you're vegan, if you're not, you've heard that people just assume that vegans think that they're better than everybody else. And that's not true at all. Like, we don't think we're better just because we're vegan. We're making better choices, and we're hoping that other people make better choices too, because we know what those choices lead to, or what has happened to lead to that choice. It's what has happened to an innocent being to get to that plate. So you gotta realize, you gotta be able to find a way to connect with people in a way where they're not going. I mean, I've never forced anybody or shamed somebody for doing that. And I've had friends that were never vegan for 20 years, and then all of a sudden Chris, I'm going vegan and I need your help. And I'm like, wow, it took 20 years, but at least you're doing it. You know, something like that. Like, there's people that will never do it, and there's people that it might take a very long time, and there's people that might, you know, be ready to do it today or, you know, gradually in the next couple months. So you just got to be able to connect. And I found the best way to do it. And I realized that I'm not going to affect every person in the world, but I'm going to do what I can being one person. And that is to have a YouTube channel that can get out to the world, you know? I mean, people all over the world have seen the channel. So it's like, hey, if I can change one person's choice, even for one day or one meal, let alone like having somebody go vegan for life, then that's well worth it, because I'm just one person. And I just happen to find a way to do it and what I would say would be like an entertaining way. Like if I was a little kid, I tried to think of what I would want to see as a little kid. That's when I come up with these ideas and stuff, I want to know, like, what would I like? I want to know what I would like as a kid. And then I put it out there and like I do what I like. And then if anybody else enjoys it as well, then there you go. We got like a little group of people that enjoy the same thing. And that for me was making a zombie show originally, a zombie narrative that had, you know, that was a vegan cooking show, and that was fun. And then everything kind of revolved around that, like, hey, watch out for zombies. But that alludes to people being mindless flesh eaters, you know, that's, you know, walking around eating meat and stuff, like being a zombie. So there's undertones there as well. And I don't know, we just gotta, I don't know what, you know, vegans do get you know, bad press and stuff like that sometimes, but you know, we're more mainstream and we're still the butt of the joke a lot, you know. But I don't think people understand it. And being a vegan for as long as I have, I understand both ends. I understand what it's like to be a vegan and come across this way, but I also understand what it's like for the other people to see that and not know half of what we do know, or not, you know, make the connections that we've made. Anyway, I'm rambling, so. I don't know how to say your name. Elsig? Yes, you got to plant seeds, because, I mean, that's work. You know, you say one thing and then like that's it. You back off, and then that same person might come back to you and like a week later. I've had people like come back to me like a week later. I've had people come to me years later and say, hey, I remember you're vegan. And like you know, I've had people that I don't even really talk to, and all of a sudden like, hey, you know, my daughter's having a birthday party and they got some vegans coming over and we want to make a vegan cake. So, you know, can you give me any tips? And I'm like, yeah, like, and like, I've had people that you never would have thought would contact you about something vegan. And like, I'm always there above and beyond to help when that happens. But I, you know, I do what I can. And I think, you know, I think most people do what they can, but some people take it a little overboard as far as how they interact with other people. I think I understand where they're coming from and I know why they're doing it, but I feel like it's sometimes can be counterproductive to what they want. And they don't mean it to be like that. They mean it from, you know, the best intentions, but it doesn't always come across like that to most people, from what I've experienced. Just reading through the comments here. I was saying in my last video, I think if you guys heard it, if you guys watched it, I said, Mom, I wish I was vegan when I was growing up. Um, and she's like, yeah, I know, but we never even heard about it. We never heard of it. And that's true. Aster, I know how you feel there. I was the only vegan in my family for many, many years. And then my siblings followed afterwards. They were all pretty much vegetarian from the start, but they didn't go vegan until the last, I don't know, 10 or so years, I think. I said when I was younger, I tried to learn some languages. Okay, yeah, we can talk about languages. I well, obviously I when I was in uh, middle school, we had to do so. Middle school for me was sixth and seventh grade, and high school was 8 through 12. And sixth grade we everybody had to take Spanish, and seventh grade everybody had to take French, and then eighth grade we could choose which one we wanted. So I took Spanish, and then I took French, and I sucked at both of them. But after high school, I I went to I went to college and I was taking Spanish in college. However, I was teaching myself French on my own, and I learned French better than I learned Spanish being taught Spanish. So I could speak and understand French a lot better than I could Spanish. But on top of that, there was a point that I was trying to learn Russian. I could do the alphabet. I can't anymore. And I was trying to learn Arabic. And then I tried a little bit of Mandarin Chinese. And I didn't get very far with those. But so I would say, so those are the three other languages that I was trying to learn with Rosetta Stone. And that was because I was trying at the time to get in the FBI. So I was trying to learn like a language that would make me more qualified. But that didn't happen. So I would say the language that I know most next to English would be probably French, although I can't really speak it that well. And it's been a long time. It's been like 20 years. It was like 2002, 2003 when I was living in New York City. And my girlfriend at the time spoke French, and she lived in Belgium for a year. She lived there for a year. And so we would like rent French movies, and I would like try to read. I had this really cool book out of like all the books that I had. It was like a comic book, and it was like for learning. It was like a comic book kind of like setup, but that was like how I learned French the best, because it was teaching you how to, speak French and conjugate everything. And anyway, but I can't really speak anything really other than English. So I wish I could, and I probably should at some point. I'm missing some of these comments here. Puffin like what? You have little kids that are vegan? I've seen that. I have my brothers both have. They have a bunch of kids and another one on the way any day now, and they've all been raised vegan. Well, Brian's kids have been raised vegan. My brother, he's vegan. My other brother's vegan, but his wife is vegetarian. So their kids they eat vegan with him, but she sometimes makes them vegetarian. I've seen the kids, from birth to like Katie just turned 7, and oh wait a minute, I think her party was last week. She turned 7, but she actually turns 7 tomorrow, and she's been vegan her whole life. And they, it's weird because like we grow up and we're taught certain things. So if you grow up and you're taught that, we eat cows and pigs and stuff, then that's what you think, even though it still doesn't sound right. Because I always would question stuff like, why, why are you eating that? Like, and why, like all that stuff. Like, why are you eating the pig? Why? And then people just think that it's weird to not to eat vegan, and it is always since I went vegan, made me always like kind of question, like when people say like, what are you eating? I'm like, it's tofu. Ew. Or you say like, oh, what's your meal? Like, oh, it's a vegan meal. Ew. And it's like, wait a minute. You're eating literal muscles and tendons severed off of an animal. But what I'm eating is ill. Like, I'm eating just plants. I'm eating plants. I mean, you do eat plants with all of that, and you do flavor that with your plants and your herbs and your spices and your sauces that are mostly vegan. So it would always made me wonder, like, we're conditioned to think that vegan is just, it's not the norm, so it's ill. But it shouldn't be taught like that. It's not ill. I mean, I always remember that one line from The Great Outdoors about what hot dogs are from, that movie was from like what, 86 or 87. So ever since I was like 10 or 11, I was like quoting that and what the raccoon said in the garbage. And I can't say it on here because I probably get in trouble with YouTube, but that always like, ew, yuck, hot dogs, so. I had to learn on my own, whereas, like I'm glad that there's a lot of parents today that are teaching their kids about being vegan and stuff, because I've got a lot of friends that have little kids that have taught their kids about, like animals shouldn't be on your plate. They should be your friends, or you should respect them. Or yeah, a lot of kids, as a kid, I loved animals. Why would I didn't want to eat animals. And that's the other thing. I think I've told this story before, but I'm reading Puffin's comment here. But so my sister-in-law, this is a few years back, and they told their pediatrician that the Katie's vegan, and they're like, oh no, she needs to have some meat and dairy, and she's like, oh well, no, I don't think she does, and she's fine. She's like, oh no, we need to do, we'll do a blood test, we'll do a blood panel, and we'll see, what she needs and how she is. And they did, and they came back and they're like, I got to be honest with you, she looks better than average kid. She's perfect. She's doing really, really good, so whatever you're doing, keep her on that. So maybe it can start opening the eyes of some of these doctors that never really take a nutrition course. My story. Okay. So, being a vegan, a lot of people that have been watching my channel for a few years already know all this about me, but when I eat certain foods, my cholesterol goes up pretty high. And as a vegan, you would think, as I did at the time, that my cholesterol would be perfect because I'm vegan. But, being a vegan that is, eats junk food sometimes, saturated fats turn into, well, they raise your LDL cholesterol because so for a vegan, you're not eating any cholesterol. Your liver makes all of your cholesterol. And for non-vegans, their liver makes their cholesterol, plus they're eating animal products, which has actual cholesterol in it. But for a vegan, we don't consume cholesterol, but we can consume certain foods. So the biggest culprit that I've learned is coconut oil, and that can really, within an hour of consuming it, raise your cholesterol. So my cholesterol, although it still wasn't, bad for the standard American diet, what they recommend, it still was higher than I wanted it to be. So, when I was first trying to figure that out with my doctor, because we did a blood test, I just wanted to do a blood test to see how my everything was. And I was a little bit low on vitamin D, which I'm not low on anymore. I make sure to have my vitamin D. But that's not a vegan thing. That's an everybody thing, especially where we live here in where I'm from, where I live in eastern part of the in New York. But a lot of the country under above a certain line doesn't get exposure to a lot of sun, and therefore a lot of us are vitamin D deficient. And vitamin D does a lot of things. And I started thinking about this, like, I don't know, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to be working for me. I haven't like read this, but I know that your liver synthesizes vitamin D, and it does everything, and it filtrates all your toxins and everything, and it also creates your cholesterol. So I was thinking, if my vitamin D was low, was that maybe affecting my liver in a negative way to create more cholesterol or something? So I started taking my vitamin D, my vegan version of vitamin D. So that wasn't. And then when I went back to the doctor again, like months and months later, my vitamin D was good, and I've been on it like. I actually have the vitamins that I use linked below if you guys ever want to check them out, because, you know, you also want to be healthy and not get sick and stuff like that. But anyway, so my vitamin D, my vitamin B12, without even taking supplements, was already like on the higher end of good. Like my B12 was great. That's another thing that you got to make sure you're getting, because if you're just relying on certain foods, you might not be getting it. A lot of people, because nutritional yeast is usually linked with B12. Everybody's like, oh, B12, but you don't always get it. You don't always absorb it from the nutritional yeast, is from what I've learned. So you want to, and don't take any of my advice as like, I'm not a doctor. So I'm just telling you what I know and what I've gone through. So maybe you want to look into this if you have any problems yourself. But anyways, so you want to be careful with the nutritional yeast, because if that's the only thing you're doing, you just want to make sure you're getting your B12. But I have other things that I get B12 from, plus, you know, the supplements that I do take. So I'm good on all of that, but you want to make sure that you're getting it, because if you're not getting B12, like the things that I hate is when people, they're not eating right and then they want to blame it on being vegan. And it's not about a diet, it's about a lifestyle. And, you know, anybody can be vegan with a proper plant-based diet. Like the biggest board of doctors have already said, like with a proper plant-based diet, you got to do it right. You got to make sure that you're getting everything you need, and you can't like, you know, take it for granted. You can't like let yourself not be healthy. Like if something's going wrong, you need to eat the right things. You need to take the supplements, but you can be a vegan. There are the right supplements out there. There are the right foods out there. There's nothing magically in meat that's going to like cure you from whatever, despite what they say. I mean, I've had anti-vegans say you can't be vegan long term. You can't be vegan more than 5 to 8 years is what they said. And I'm like, I'm already debunking I've been vegan longer than you've been alive. So, you know, they try to debunk that and say that I'm lying, that I'm actually eating meat on the side, which is outrageously ridiculous. But anyway, going off on a tangent again. What was I even saying? The cholesterol thing. So the doctor wanted to put me on statins. I'm like, I'm not taking drugs. He's like, you're going to need to. And I'm like, no, let me have another shot at this, because I changed a couple things in my diet and I still had a little bit higher cholesterol. My vitamin D was good now. And he's like, your cholesterol is still a little bit high. Let me give you statins. I'm like, no, I don't want to take drugs. So I'm like, look, I'll be back. We'll do this again and we'll see how my blood is next time I see you. So I scheduled another appointment with my doctor like a month later. And I decided to do the Esselstyn diet, where I'm eating only whole foods, no processed foods, no oils, very, very sparing on any like nuts and seeds and avocados and those kind of things, because I wanted to make sure that I could go on a diet that was healthy enough that would do that when I didn't have to take medicine or drugs or anything. So I did that. And after 3.5 weeks, I went and got my blood tested again. And then I showed up at the doctor the next week and he looked at it And he was ready to be like, okay, we're going to put you on statins. And he looked at the test and he's like, how did you do this? And I said, I followed the Dr. Esselstyn. And he went, and he had never heard of him. So he's like, thinking that he's some quack. So he starts Googling him. And he's like, well, is this like some fad thing? Or I'm like, no. He's very, well-respected doctor. Look him up, And he looked him up and he started reading all about him. And he's like, his whole face changed. And I'm like, look, maybe you can tell your other patients that this works. I'm proof that it works. And it did. It worked. It got my cholesterol in a very good level. And, I felt good. The only thing is like, I like to eat junk food sometimes, so I balance that out. And lately I've been eating really good. But, like today I had a falafel, and falafel is obviously deep fried, but I don't, I've been eating pretty much, I have been eating all whole foods like for the last week or two, just trying to get, feeling real good and stuff. And, but I don't hold myself to it 100% because I feel like that's like, I don't know, it pulls at my brain and it's like, I don't like it. So, but that works for me. I'm saying, I'm not telling anybody else what to do. That's what works for me. And I drink a lot of oat milk. I like oat milk. I like, the oat milk I drink it's fortified with vitamin D, and it's got B12 in it, and it's got more calcium in it than milk and all this good stuff. So, and not all the bad things that it has. So, that's what I like. But there's a lot of plant-based milks out there that you could that is fortified with like your B12, your vitamin D and stuff like that. You just got to look at, which one's better than the other. And then when you get into making your own, you're not going to have like the B12 and the vitamin D and stuff in it, but you will have like a very authentic, clean plant milk. So, do what you do. You eat heroic amounts of fiber. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, the doctor didn't think I was going to be able to do it, Linda, on diet alone. My blood pressure has always been really good, but I do remember going to that doctor. I haven't been there in years, but it was like, 2.5 years ago? And the reason I went there is because I had a tick on me. But I went in there, and then the nurse came in and the receptionist, she came in and gave him my papers and stuff. And he's like, so it looks like we got to do something with you. You have a very high blood pressure. And I'm like, what? I've never heard that. He's like, yeah, you got really high blood pressure. And I'm like, what the heck did I do? Like, why do I have, what's wrong with me? If something's wrong with me, if I, the last time I had high cholesterol, now I have high blood pressure, like what's going on? And then she comes in and she's like, oops, sorry, I gave you the wrong chart. And she gave him somebody else's chart. And then she gave him, and he's like, oh, okay, so let's start again. So you got perfect blood pressure. And I'm like, oh my God, you just made my blood pressure go up. Anyway, I've always had really good blood pressure. You know what? Recycled on Wednesdays. I used to eat falafel all the time when I was vegetarian. When I first went vegan back in the 90s, that was the thing to have back in the 90s, falafel. And then I think I got falafeled out for a little bit. And then for a long time, falafel was maybe once, twice a year up till, pretty recently. And then and I don't have it all the time now, but it's like, there's not too many places around here to go to, and I wanted to eat on the healthier side. So I had some, baba ganoush, the falafel, and the salad today. I actually posted on my Instagram story what I ate, and I like supporting them. They try to, they did a collab with me once where they tried to make a bunch of different vegan things and all that good stuff, but I don't eat falafel that often because I used to eat it so much when I was younger. And then there was a time that I didn't have it for so long. Just like hummus. I like ate so I had this conversation with Craig because no, Craig, he's when I think of hummus, I think of Craig because he was always eating hummus. But at the time that he was always eating hummus, I had been hummused out for years. Like, going vegan way back in the 90s and just eating hummus all the time, and then I didn't want it anymore. I just ate so much of it. I didn't want it anymore. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to look at it. And then, every once in a while, I'll walk by and I'll see that hummus with like the roasted red peppers or the pine nuts. And I'm like, oh, I got to get this. But yeah, I stopped eating hummus for a long time too because of the same thing. I just ate it too much. And that was before there was any of the really good things that they have now. There was no good cheeses. There was one vegan burger out there that was my favorite that they don't sell anymore, and I would love to be able to try it again. It was called the Harvest Burger. And I forget who made it at first, but then they sold it to Green Giant, and then I don't know who made it after, and then they just, whoever bought it after that, just, they bought them out, and then they stopped making them. And I was like, that was my favorite burger. I would literally eat 2 of those a day. Probably too much, but like I didn't have anything to worry about because I was skateboarding 24/7, burning a lot of calories, so I could eat whatever I wanted, and I did, and I was like a junk food vegan. But I would make 2 of those burgers every single day almost, and they were my favorite absolute burgers. And that was back in the early 90s, mid 90s. That's funny, Ellis. That's almost exactly what I'm going to be making. Almost exactly what I'm going to be making for exactly for my demo. I'm making the tofu the way I make it, and I'm going to be grating the carrots like I do for the bibimbap. And I was thinking of making like a peanut sauce, or like a mix between a peanut sauce with a little bit of soy sauce and some other maybe red pepper flakes or something in there, maybe some garlic, and some other things. And I don't know if I'm going to use rice or quinoa, but I want to do something. I'll probably have to pre-cook some of it when I bring it there, though, because I think they only have one little burner to use. You'll never turn your back on hummus? Hummus to the face then, right? You went into keto on accident? Falafel and hummus are traditional in your family? Well, I had a nice falafel sandwich today. It was really good. Am I still planning to recreate the Harvest Burger for a recipe video? I don't. There's no way. I don't think I can. I can't make what they made. It was. I don't know how they made it. It was. It was like a burger. 30 years ago, it was like they made a burger, and it was the best one. It wasn't like a gardeny burger. It was like a burger. It was like a burger patty. Yeah, you put it on, you cook it up, and it was really freaking good. You had to cook it right, though. Like when I didn't have time, I'd microwave it, and they would get harder on the edges, and I'd still eat it, but it wasn't as good. Like you needed to, the way, okay, here's how, you're right. Maybe I'll do a video, and I won't tell you now how I made it. I'll just do it in the video. It'll give me a video to do. I wish we could find them somewhere, and I could like find like a pack of Harvest Burgers, and I could just make it on a video. No, I don't think that's ever happened to me, and I've gone days without eating actual food. But I'm sure it's worked for. I'm sure that's happened to a lot of other people. Maybe it had to do with something, maybe with your blood sugar or something. Sometimes that affects people. I can go a while without eating. So if there's nothing vegan, it's not a big deal for me. I could go a whole day without eating. And I know that I can, like, I'm not gonna, I don't, I'm not gonna, like, oh, I'm gonna die. Um, because I know people can go weeks without eating before they die. So I'm like, I can go a day without eating. So if there's nothing vegan somewhere, and I've done it many times, where like going somewhere and there's nothing that's vegan, and you're hungry, you're real hungry, but you're like, I'll just wait until later. I'll just get through it. I mean, that's what I do. Um, but if you're gonna be in a situation like that, and you know you might be in a situation, like, just bring like some kind of, like, I don't know, granola bar, power bar, or something like that. That's what I normally do. But then when you get to that point, foods that you don't really enjoy eating become so delicious. Like, if you haven't eaten all day, like, I love making smoothies and stuff with like bananas and stuff like that. But I don't enjoy just eating a banana unless I'm like starving. I haven't eaten all day. Like, oh my God, that apple looks so good. Or that banana, oh my God, that banana, every little bit of that banana, I'm going to eat it. You know? You take for granted a lot of things until you really, like, if like, we have water all over, but if you don't have water, and I mean, the worst thing is, like, I mean, one of the best feelings is when you are so thirsty and you haven't drank anything, and you're so thirsty, you're dehydrated, and then just a nice glass of water. Like, oh my God, that's one of the best things ever. Or a Vago bar. Snacks. Lettuce with spaghetti sauce. I don't see that being too crazy, because a lot of times my mom would make spaghetti, and like we'd also have like a little salad, and the salad would get in it all together. Um, so that's not a weird one for me. You know what I used to eat when I was younger? With me and my friend, we would eat, and we thought we were cool, but I really liked it actually. We'd eat mustard sandwiches, just mustard and a sandwich with salt and vinegar potato chips, and we loved it. D Rabbit, am I leaving now? You just got here. I am leaving very soon. Yes. But glad you could make it. That is true, Puffin. Everything looks good when you're really hungry. Vago or water? Vago. You're in a desert. Vago or give me some water. You can only have water or Vago. Oh, well then. Hmm. Spaghetti sauce with oatmeal. I don't know about that. I've never had that, so I don't know. I'm willing to try a lot of different things. What did somebody? Yeah. Linda, I think you posted something a couple days ago that I was like, I would eat that. Like, didn't you like have it looked like hot dogs, but they weren't hot dogs. They were pickles with everything on them. Like, I would totally eat that. Strawberry, banana, orange juice, apple. I would drink that smoothie. Potato and avocado sandwich. Potato, like, is the potato cooked? What kind of potato? How is it done? Potato, avocado. Yeah, that would probably be good. That would be good, but however, I'm weird about. So I love avocado, but I don't like avocados that are warm. So if it's on something really hot, I don't want it. And if it's like a baked avocado, my avocado has to be room temperature or cool. I love mustard too. I've been getting like, do you like the extra grainy stone ground mustard? That's what I like. I like all mustard too, but yeah. Mustard and pickles, and I love pickles. And pickles are actually, I mean, other than the sodium factor, they're good for you, so you can snack on pickles. You can snack on pickles. I'm doing good because I haven't been eating any junk, and like I am literally surrounded by like chocolate. I got Vago. I got these new oat bars by Lindt, and let me tell you, if you guys haven't tried these, go and pick one up. They are so good. These are so good. Which one did I try? There's I think I tried the wait, was it the salted caramel? Anyway, it's right here. You could see I was snacking on it, but this was like a week and a half ago that I was snacking on that. These things are raw vegan and they're really good, but they got a little bit of a fat content on it, so I snack on a few. This company makes really good ones. I have several dehydrators. I need to get them out and start making some food, but the problem is we're trying to redo the kitchen right now. So, oh yeah, this is the one that I ate. It was just a classic recipe. Boom, right there. It's good when companies make vegan things. They didn't want to do it back in the day. They're like, no. But now they're like, oh, money, 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 money. So now everybody's making vegan things. Let's change everything. That's what we're doing. You guys can't change anything. You guys can't change nothing. Look what we've done. It's mainstream. The mainstream vegan. Who wants to take up that handle? The mainstream vegan. Fried green beans. You guys are making me hungry. Boba tea, yeah. Good stuff. I haven't had it in a while. There's a pickle fest in Pittsburgh every summer called Pickleberg. Oh my God, that would be amazing. I would love that. I went to the Renaissance Fest and there was just, everything's medieval and I always love that, but this guy was walking around with like a big barrel on wheels and it was pickles. And I was like, oh my God, I love pickles, but being in a barrel at a Renaissance Fest just made me want pickles even more. So I chased him down and I'm like, hey, I need to buy a pickle. So a pickle fest in Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh is the home of the zombies. So, I mean, pickles and zombies, come on. That's like a match made in heaven. Ooh, yeah, Ellie. Am I saying your name wrong? Is it Ellis? Ellisig. Little pieces of chocolate bars in your oatmeal. I've been making nice cream because I am craving things. I'm trying to eat super good, so I'm craving things, but you can always have nice cream because it's super healthy. So the way I've been making it, I should just make videos on this, but anyway, I'll tell you guys, okay? So throw a few bananas in there. I throw a little bit of oat milk in there, not a lot, just a little bit because you want it to be thick. And then I put a good amount of cinnamon in there because cinnamon is so good for you anyway, and it gives it a nice little taste. And then I put a little bit of cacao powder in there. Not cocoa, but cacao powder. And then I put, about not even a handful amount of walnuts in there. Is that all I put in there? And then I blend that up with the tamper on it. And then when it's done, it comes out. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of granola on it and eat it like that. Or I'll put some cacao nibs on it. Those are really good. Nice little crunch there. And healthy. So, You can make like a flurry, what is it? Like different a McFlurry or whatever they had, or what did they have at the Frosties at Wendy's and stuff. You could make all that with nice cream. Make it all look nice and creamy. Nice cream. I don't like calling it ice cream, though. That's what it is, though. It's banana ice cream. Oh, Lena is coming in talking about Valheim. You died in Valheim. Yeah, I had that happen to me last night. You are being hunted, and I immediately took off. I went through the portal, and I waited for it to end. So, who left the front door open? Well, you guys were the ones down there. I left. I was up on top. Cinnamon can be unhealthy for a kid if it's not saline. And I am a kid. Oh my God. What's going to happen to me? Wait, you got your hands on the Baby Bell wax covered cheese? I haven't heard of that. And it was so bad. You know, Miyoko gave me some wax covered cheese a long time ago. It wasn't, she didn't normally make that, but she made some wax covered ones for one of her events. And I got one of those, and that was pretty cool. Peanut butter, that's the other ingredient I put in it. I do put a scoop of organic peanut butter, which the only ingredients is peanuts, and walnuts. So I'm double dipping there. Ooh, yeah, avocado on sourdough bread. Fresh sourdough. And then some everything but the bagel on top of it. Mmm, really good. Oh, yeah, you're right. We got some cool people here, Sean. Lena is now playing Valheim. I just got a message that Lena's playing Valheim without me. Lena. So I just posted a new product by Good Planets Food today on my Instagram account. They have this smoked Gouda and smoked cheddar with applewood chips. And I haven't seen them at my stores here, but they are available nationwide. And there is they gave me a special code for you guys to get free shipping. So if you guys wanted to buy it at the store, but you can't find it in the store, you buy it from their website and you get free shipping regardless using that code. So, and then they have those like the triangle wheels, the wedges, and I don't know, like I love them. I think they're really good. 3 different flavors: the original, the smoked Gouda, and what's the other one? I forget the. Oh, is it pepper jack? Maybe it's pepper jack, and super good. Applewood brand? No, it's they're smoked with applewood chips. The brand is Good Planet Foods. Yes, Lena has the worst case of FOMO with FOMO when it comes to Valheim. What's up, Deneen? Welcome. There's an Applewood brand. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of that. But yeah, all of their cheese is really good. Yeah, the products that are out today that are vegan are just so much next level. Like there's no reason. I mean, anybody that thinks that vegans are doing without, or, we are eating so many delicious things. I mean, either Either you're buying delicious foods, you're making it yourself, you're following other people's recipes, or you're just an amazing cook and you just know that you can make all these foods. Because I don't know. You just got attacked by a pack. So we're talking two different things here. We're talking about a game that we've been playing on Twitch. You guys go follow me on Twitch at the Vegan Zombie without an E at the end. You guys can see me stream on Twitch a lot, playing different games, or you guys can just find me over here. The Go Veggie grated cheese, like the Parmesan, yeah, that's been around for a long time. It's really good too. Some of the old companies that have made products for the last, 15, 20, 25 years that I think are still really good and still hold up to this day. And I'm glad they were around back then. Tofutti makes some, pretty decent ice cream. Their pizza that they made was one of my favorites, but I can't find it anymore. It was kind of like a version of Elio's, and oh my God, I loved it. Their Tofutti single slices of cheese to this day are still one of my favorites. Again, I can't find them anymore, but if you do find them, they're really good. Their Tofutti cream cheese is my favorite cream cheese by far, than any other brand out there today. And they made this, 20 some years ago. Vegenaise is still one of my favorite vegan mayos. And there's still a lot of other companies that, what are some other ones? Tofurkey. I still love Tofurkey. Whether you're getting the slices for your sandwiches or just the roast. And they got some other products as well. I mean, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say there's a lot, but there's a decent amount of companies out there that have been around for a long time that have been making some quality products this whole time. And then there's other ones that have got better over the years that maybe weren't as good at the beginning, but are good now. So the Tofutti Cuties were one of my favorites. I remember one day after skateboarding, I went to Wegmans late at night and I bought a box of Tofutti Cuties because I really wanted one. And it was a hot summer night and I was sweating and I had skated all day. And I got back in my car and I just immediately, because they're little, I ate 1, 2, 3. I think I ate 4, which was the equivalent of just 2 regular ice cream sandwiches. And then I'm like, I just ate 4 Tofutti Cuties. And 8 of them come in a box. And then I'm like, I can't let the other ones go to waste. It's really hot out. So I had to eat the rest of them. And then I didn't feel good. I felt like, why did I just eat this many Tofutti Cuties? And I was probably like early 20s, maybe 19, 20, 21. No. Anyway, yeah, it was somewhere around there. I was young. It was a long time ago. Okay, I feel better than Mike if everybody smashed a box of Tofutti Cuties. Do you want me to tell you the fullest I've ever been? Whenever I get full, I'm like, I'm never eating again. I mean, I don't mean that, but I always say that. But one time I was in Ithaca, New York, and I went to this Ethiopian place and I was eating. And when it first came out, I'm like, oh, that doesn't even look like that much food. And I ate it all. And Rachel was with me and then she didn't want the rest of it. I'm like, I'll eat yours too. And I ate hers because she was full. She didn't want any. And it's so freaking good. But they got the injera. The injera is the bread, the spongy kind of bread that they have. And that's how you eat the food. Those of you that know Ethiopian food know this. So I ate all that and I was like, this is so, and I was so full. And then we went to go walk around Ithaca. And then I think the bread started expanding in my stomach. And I'm like, I'm so full. I never want to eat again. I can't wait until I'm not full anymore. Oh my God. And that was the fullest I've ever been. I at that moment, I never wanted to eat food again. I was like, oh my God. And I've never done that again. I've made sure not to get to that point ever again. That was probably 5 or 6 years ago. True story. The only other time that I remember being so full was when I was like 12 or 13, and it was summer, and I was running around out around the reservoir by my grandma's house. And then I came back to my grandma's house because I think we were visiting. I ran back to my grandma's house. I was so thirsty that I poured a glass of water and I drank the whole thing, and I poured another glass of water and I drank. I was so full on water that I was like, what did I just do to myself? I'm still thirsty and I can't even drink. I'm like, I'm going to die. Like, help me. Do I got to go to the hospital? I drank that much water. But here I am. I'm okay. Sabrina, I completely agree with you. I'd rather be hungry than too full now that I've done it. I don't like being like that ever. So the last time I did that was 5 years ago, somewhere around there. So if you noticed, we did an eating contest a few years ago, probably 3 years ago, with No Egg Craig, where Craig wanted to do an eating contest with me, him, and his friend Josh. And this is over on his channel if you guys haven't seen it. And so Craig decided it was going to be for his video, so he bought all the food. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll do it. And so it was a pizza eating contest. So he bought all this pizza at Whole Foods, all this vegan pizza, and we sat down with each of us had our own big vegan pizza, and we had an hour to see who could eat the most. Now, I had already gone into this knowing that I wasn't going to win, and I didn't care. I just wanted free pizza. So I just took my time and I ate, a few pieces of pizza, and Craig was doing the same thing. And then you got Josh on the other side, and he's like, I already ate one piece and I drank a beer and another piece and another piece and another piece. And Craig's like, why are you doing that? Like, and I'm like, yeah. And why are you like drinking beer on top of that if you really want to win? And Craig was just like steadily going, and I stopped at like half a pizza or something like that. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm genuinely full now. I'm not overly full. I could still eat, but I don't wanna. So you won, you beat me. And I just ate a few pieces, and that was good. Craig, on the other hand, won. Well, actually, I'm not going to tell you who won, because if you want to find out who won. But I'm pretty sure he won. Craig can eat a lot. If I tried to beat him, I couldn't. There's no way I could have eaten as much as he did. And every time something like that happens, I think of the movie Seven. If you know, you know. So, okay, yeah, so some of you guys remember that. Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun. And the pizza was really good. I love the Whole Foods pizza. But what I don't like is, I like to, when I do make my pizza, I like to make it with only, it's dark out already. What time is it? Oh, it's almost, I didn't know it was almost 9 o'clock. I thought it was still earlier. I like to make mine with either no cheese or very light on the cheese. I don't like just piles and goop of cheese, on my pizza. Vegan cheese, of course, but I don't like that. Like, so, but I do love pizza and breadsticks and all that good stuff. So, anyway, I'm just rambling now. So, I guess I'm going to get going. And again, just to let you know, I'm not going to be doing a live stream next week because I'm going to be doing a live presentation, but I should be back to the normal the week after. So, you love the pizza crust that I make? You're making me want to go make some pizza right now. Like a healthy pizza. Linda, I agree. It's making me hungry too. I do. Yeah, I almost said calzones. I make calzones sometimes too. Sometimes I'll make a calzone. But I'm one of those people that I don't like to wait to let my food cool off. So a calzone could be dangerous to me because I could bite into it and it just pours down my face and burns me, because that exact thing has happened before. So anyway, thank you all for hanging out and chilling here with me. And we'll see you guys next time. So be sure to stay safe and watch out for zombies. And have a good night. And eat some good vegan food. So the next time we talk, you can tell me what you had. All right.